That's all about 11N. And I think the reason I'm talking about 11N is mainly to bring up these new wireless developments, which are MIMO, STDC, frame aggregation, and things like this, right? And this is how the field is advancing and getting higher, and channel bonding. This is how we're getting higher and higher throughput. Okay? And then we come to 11AC. So those things you should remember. What is channel bonding, what is STDC, what is this and that, right? But bits and bytes, it's okay as long as you remember there is a high throughput field. Now, 11AC. First, what is the feature? 11AC can use 80 megahertz. So remember, there were 220s negative 40, right, for 11N. Now they're going twice, 80 megahertz and 160 megahertz. And it does not do any 2.4. Well, having said that, I haven't bought a 11AC equipment that doesn't do 2.4. Because 11AC part may not do 2.4, but they will have ADGN. Very few people will buy just 11AC without ADGN. I have some old equipment which will not speak 11AC. And everybody has it, right? So theoretically, the 11AC part itself will not do 2.4 gigahertz. 254 QAM 3/4, and then they upped the QAM level to 256, and 3/4 and 5/6, that redundancy. By this, you can get 8 by 6 times of 64 QAM, so 1.33, right there you get 1.33. You see 64 QAM is 6 bits, this is 8 bits. When you multiply 8 by 3 by 4, you get 6 bits. Anyway, so you get 8 by 6 times 1.33. And you can do 8 spatial streams. So you could have 8 antennas, or maybe even, basically 4 by 2s or whatever. 8 spatial streams you can do. So that gives you minimum 2x. It could give you 8x if you are really lucky, but 2x. And then they use multi-user MIMO. Now this will require explanation in the next 2 slides. I'm going to leave that right now. Multi-user MIMO. Null data packets, explicit beam forming only. And they have a concept of null data packets. So basically, if you want to find out where you are, in which direction, we will send you a 0 to see if you receive it. If you receive it, then I know that I'm aligned to you. So there's a new concept, null data packet. And beam forming, is that basically beam forming is trying to narrow down the direction. Less pilots. So even in 20 megahertz, they do 50 plus 4 instead of 48 plus 4, and then 108 plus 6 in 40 megahertz, and then 80 megahertz, and so on and so forth. There are numbers. And 468 plus 16. So basically, if you had 160 megahertz, you will have 468 data subcarriers as compared to 48 or 52 previously. So you get inside the 9x. So what we have done is we are really doing 8 times the bandwidth, right? Instead of 20, we are doing 160, and we are getting 9 times because of that. Right? When you multiply all of these things, that's how you get 72 times, which is basically 6.9 gigabits with AC. Anyway, let's see. MAC enhancement for high speed, HP control field redefined. So that field that we showed you before for 11N, this one is now another definition for 11AC. And if you were getting 96, you will get 96.3 for one stream, 20 megahertz, 256 QAM, 5 by 6 dot GI. If you do all of this, you get 96.3 megabits. If you do 8 streams and 160, 8 times here and 9 times here, 72 times, you get 6.9 gigabits. So now you can buy a very high-speed wireless thing And the way they're doing it is by using more and more of the spectrum and making better use of that spectrum as well. Now, having said this, I need to say this thing. I'm a wireless guy, but I don't want to use the maximum possible band at the maximum possible power in my home. Okay, for two reasons. First of all, if anybody uses 160 megahertz, then the other people will not be able to use anything else. If you have two of these, you are in trouble. One of these is fine. Right? Because that is the whole, and you almost, the whole thing is, people are going to use it, right? Lot of spectrum. Second, a lot of wireless power. So all the rules for wireless were put in place when there were no wireless equipment, and said, okay, all right, you can have 3 dB of transmission in your home, and you will not be affected. But now with this antenna and high beam antenna with high beam transmission and everything else, you are just drowning into wireless. Now, I'm not sure whether it's good or bad. Nobody has proven one way or the other. Okay? But why this, I don't even stand next to a microwave. When I do microwave, I stand far away because there is some radiation coming in, right? So why do I want to put next to an access point? Why do I want to sit next to an access point? I don't put access point next to my microwave. So just be careful, that's all. Because you never know, 10 years from now they will tell me, for example, how Madam Curie died? Anybody knows? Doing the radiation experiment. She invented X-rays, but she died of X-rays. So, yeah, because one person is getting 7 gigahertz, 7 gigabits, but everybody else, maybe your neighbors are not getting anything. So, so this is it. But basically, this is something not written anywhere. This nobody will write because there'll be basically, hear lots of spam from different companies. So let's talk about some of the new words that we said. We already talked about beam forming. Beam forming, by the way, microwave uses 2.4 gigahertz. So when you are heating something up for kitchen, you are just transmitting 2.4 gigahertz, except that it is not dBm, it is dBW maybe, or maybe dB kilowatts. Okay? So it's high power 2.4 gigahertz that heats up your food. And there is this door around the microwave which protects you from it. Okay? It has LED or whatever screen on it which protects you. So, so just think about that. Beam forming. Direct energy towards the receiver. And that's why I don't use Bluetooth. I have given up on this, but I didn't use Bluetooth for a long time because I didn't want to keep next to my brain a transmitter. And of course, it is using nanowatts, microwatts, nothing will happen. But why? Now, this is all personal views. Beam forming. Direct energy towards the receiver. That means that basically directional transmission. And requires an antenna to alter directions. And implicit is using channel estimation using packet loss. So basically, one is the implicit beam forming, where we send something and then we measure how many got through, and then we say, no, it's not good. We go to the next one, we say better. So that is implicit. And explicit is where we both work together somehow to figure out that, okay, now they're aligned. Okay? So nowadays we are mostly explicit beam forming. And then multi-user MIMO. So MIMO means multiple output and multiple inputs, right? Multiple transmitters and multiple receivers. And then somebody figured out, and this happened very recently because I remember having this discussion during the BIMAX forum, and I think it was during the BIMAX days back in 2008-9 time that this multi-user MIMO was invented. So the idea was that the multiple antennas do not have to be on the same receiver, the same user. If I have a cell phone, you have a cell phone, both of us have one antenna. If somehow we collaborate, we can get as throughput as it is two antennas. Okay? And then they said, no, you don't have to collaborate. I can design a scheme so that even if the users don't know, but we are doing MIMO with them. Okay, that is multi-user and MIMO. Is that multiple users here. These two users have one antenna each, and this transmitter has two antennas, and it can somehow send the transmissions such that they will get benefit from the MIMO. This is MIMO. This is the old MIMO, standard MIMO. Is that two transmitters, two receivers on the same thing, and I send you S star and SW star and minus S star in STDC, and somehow we get better throughput and better error rate, right? But now, it doesn't have to be the same user. You see, as shown here, you see this color shows you, this antenna is transmitting two signals, one red, one yellow. Okay? And this one is only transmitting one signal, red. Right? So, yes, there are two signals for the transmitter. For the receiver, there is only one. The receiver has only one antenna. Right? And so that's the magic, basically, is that since the transmitter has two antennas, it can find two users and somehow do something such that it looks like we have one person with two antennas. Now, how does this work? Again, lot of mathematics, but I will tell you the simplest explanation. Basically, if you remember in OFDM, we had frequency and time. On one axis is frequency, on the other axis time. Right? And we gave a user a particular square. Not a square, rectangle. It doesn't have to be a square. And some frequency and some time. In that rectangle, there are some pilots. And those pilots are used for channel estimation to find out how good is the channel. Right? Now, those pilots are arranged such that I can give you the same frequency, both of them, same frequency, same time, so rectangles are one on the top of each other, but the pilot locations are different. To one user, I tell them that your pilots are here and don't use these two. Okay? To the other user, I can say that your pilots are here, don't use these two. So the pilots don't get mixed up. Pilots come clean. Right? Everything else is mixed up. So this guy is going to transmit at this frequency at the same time. Right? But because the pilots are clean, the transmitter, the receiver actually in this case, the big tower, can do some math and figure out who is transmitting what. Yeah.
I think that both frequencies and both times are not the same at the same time. I mean, for example, in the same time, they use different frequencies as shown in the picture. For example, in the left column, they transfer in two different frequencies. I mean, both frequencies are...
Pilots are different. Okay, let me say, the things which are blank here, like these 6 plus 2, 8 slots, they are being used, they are being transmitted. So in the first time slot, this is the first time slot, this user will send a pilot plus 2 data subcarriers. These are all subcarriers, right? It will send a pilot subcarrier, 2 subcarriers, and then a null. Okay? In the second, in that time slot, this will send a null, 2 data subcarriers, and a pilot. So the middle 2 subcarriers in that time slot are using exactly the same frequency. But you see here things, they are coming from different directions and all that. And because now we have the pilots, we know exactly what I should expect from this guy. If you're sending a 1, if you're sending a 0, what should I expect? And from this guy, what should I expect? And you do all this math, FFTs, and things like that, and then you come out clean. You just know who is sending what, and that basically that will be almost as good as a single user MIMO. Now it's not as good as, but almost as good as single user MIMO. And users don't even know. User was just told, and they did whatever they were told. Well, an advantage is increased throughput. You see, now we have a third dimension here. One, we have the frequency, time, and then this third dimension, which is space. The question is, will SPVC work for one user or for multiple users? I don't know really. I mean, I will have to do research. I mean, I have to check that out. I mean, right now, SPVC is an independent concept where you use space-time block coding, okay? And it really has nothing to do with OFDM. It has nothing to do with this thing. It does require multiple antennas. But your question requires more work on my part to figure it out whether you can use it with my multi-user MIMO or not. And I think you should be able to do everything. And okay, my answer is yes. I mean, you can use with multi-user MIMO SPDC, and because this is used. SPDC is standard, right? Now, what effect does it have? I don't know. So now, you can do things like this. You could, if you had a single user, you could give all the subcarriers to that user. With multi-user MIMO, obviously this was possible before as well. With multi-user MIMO, you can direct some subcarriers to this user, others to that user, and others to that user. So now you can combine with beam farming. Beam farming basically means directional. Right? So these are all independent concepts. STTC is there, beam farming is there, MIMO is there. And each of these are helping improve. We already talked about this, but I will go one more time. So basically, 11N started with channel bonding. 11AC is taking it one step further. Instead of 2 channels, you can bond all the way up to 160 gigahertz, which is like 8 channels. And when you bond, some stations may just use 2, some may use 4, some may use all 8. So you have to allow all possibilities. Right? And so you always have to have a primary channel. And on that primary, you will send the beacon. So anybody who is using only 20 megahertz will listen there. Anybody using 40 megahertz will listen there. Anybody using 80 megahertz will have this primary, and 160 gigahertz guys will listen there, right? So there is a primary, there is a secondary at all levels. So if you use 160 gigahertz primary, you will have 180 gigahertz primary, sorry, 80 megahertz. 80 megahertz primary and 180 megahertz secondary, and therefore you will have in that first 80 megahertz, 40 megahertz primary, 40 megahertz secondary, and then 20 megahertz primary and 20 megahertz secondary. Okay? Primary is where everybody has to listen. That is where the RTS will come, and in the CTS you can say, sorry, you have 8 antennas, but you have 8 channel bonding, but I have only 1. CTS. Here it is. So RTS CTS will determine what the receivers and the transmitters have. And multiple stations can adjust like this. You could have 160 gigahertz. This one may have primary on this side, this one may have primary on this side. So now they are overlapping. The overlap is not shown correctly. I think I need to show the complete thing in dual colors, where this one has 160 megahertz in blue and 160 megahertz in yellow. So how can that be? How can we show that? Okay, so I think this picture needs to be, because it doesn't show the secondaries. And what I really want to show is that this one has a primary of 80 megahertz. This could have another one, this could be used as a secondary on this side, and this one could have primary here and the secondary on this side. So that's the kind of thing you can have. 2 stations using the same 80 megahertz. Okay, one using it as a primary, one using it as a secondary. And primary, everybody has to listen, and the secondary, we don't listen. We just use it when we need it. Okay, secondary, primary overlap. They do all the time. So let's say you are transmitting on channel 1 and I'm transmitting on channel 1, and this happens all the time. So what happens is hopefully your receiver is close to you, my receiver is close to me, and not the big problem. If you, by the way, there's a tool called SSID, ISSID, and you should also have this tool, download it free, which shows you all the networks in the neighborhood. Anybody remember the name? Which shows you all the networks in your neighborhood and all the networks in your home. And so if you get that tool, you will see your neighbor is transmitting at the same frequency as you are transmitting, channel 1. It will show you. Right? But since they are using their printer, now using my printer doesn't care. So the volume becomes, and the interference becomes less because we have higher amplitude and they have lower amplitude in my house. So that is that. That brings us to the end of this module. And 6 key summaries. So first of all, now we know SDU and PDU. SDU and PDU. SDU is service data unit and PDU is the protocol data unit. And then we can aggregate them, we can segment them, we can burst them. 11A and G introduced a new thing. Biggest new thing was OFDM. And they use 64, of which they use only 48. And then 11E added frame bursting, direct link, aggregation, and the physical layer, I suppose. And then 4 queues with different QoS. And AIFS was the interframe spacing. They had 4 of them. And then TX opportunity, the transmission opportunity is the duration, how long you want to transmit. So it is not that one PDU, you could have big transmission opportunity. And QoS field in the frame, and every frame had a QoS field. 11N added the ST control field, it added MIMO, aggregation, dual band, STDC, and channel bonding. So we now know those terms, what they mean. 11AC added multi-user MIMO with 80 by 80 megahertz and 256 QAM and 8 streams to give 6.9 gigabits. And then multi-user MIMO allows many users to be combined in a single MIMO pool. Okay? So the receivers don't need multiple antennas. I mean, receivers, actually, that's the wrong word. One end doesn't need multiple antennas, which is generally the lower end. So we sometimes call it upstream and downstream. Upstream is going to the mountain, and that means the tower. So the question is there is a QoS field in the frame? And it says right here QoS field in the frame. So I think there is. And let us look at the frame format. I did not put the frame format here. So of course there is an internal counter, 4 different counters, but there may be a field, and let's look at that. Actually, there may be a field here. We can look at 11N. Huh? Yeah, that came from E. Okay, so let us see here. Here is QoS control. So QoS control came from E. This came from N. So there is homework 6B, and so you should be able to multiply things together to get some numbers. And again, please do the homework. If you have any questions, you can ask next class. But make sure you do it, because otherwise if you don't do it and then ask, it's not going to really register that fast. Reading list is there, and again, please read the reading list and the references. References you don't have to read, but I have put there because I have used them myself, right? So references are optional, but reading lists are a must. That's it.